course, because that will you should do what is called a certified financial planner CFP course, right? And I think health, there is nothing better. Like, see, medicine is a noble profession. That doesn't mean that a doctor doesn't charge fees. It still is a noble profession because he helps saves life. I think when you do financial planning for people, you get the satisfaction of making a difference to other people's lives. Believe you me, it's a very, very enjoyable experience to be able to influence other people's lives and make a difference to their lives. So if you are even thinking about it, think about it long and hard. It is something you should definitely look at doing. It's a rewards in the profession currently. Okay, I think currently it leaves a little to be desired. Okay, but I'm sure, like any other profession, it will soon become quite lucrative as well. We do. We have done Bombay's ready reckoner rate for the Colaba properties. Colaba was the best performing in Colaba, was 17% versus the Nifty rate was about 21%. Average was 9. Okay, and I think minimum was minus. There was a 10-year period during which even Colaba had a minus rate. So it never gives negative returns. That is not really true. Although frequently, as in the case of this gentleman here, 25% returns are not exactly unknown, but not always. Just it. And average dividend yield, okay, has been around 2.5%.
But in my case, it was not planned at all. Let me be very honest. It was not planned at all. There was some sharing of the estate. So somebody wanted to get away and he wanted the money. I had the money, I paid money. So it automatically came to me. I did not have to sell it throughout these years. That's the
So good. Doesn't matter how it came about. It was a good investment.
It was not a planned decision.
Doesn't matter. This can be planned. I think that is the difference. This can really be planned, and would be very happy to help you with the.
I'll certainly come back.
With the systematic investment that you were talking about.
In loan planning, investment planning will not work as it is. So if you are good at you are a good driver, know the gears very well, but not comfortable with when to brake and when to accelerate, you are not going to. So insurance planning and loan planning are equally important with the investment planning.
Don't go by the fact that we didn't cover them in the workshop. It's just that we ran out of time.
So we look the entire thing in and then give a financial plan. Loan planning, insurance planning, and then investment planning. We don't jump to investment first. We first check out where the leakage is, where the loophole is, or where the likelihood expenses which may come in lakhs of rupees.
So loans for self-occupied house, for a house that you stay in, very, very expensive, because the deduction you get is only till 15 lakhs. At the most with a spouse up to 30 lakhs. Beyond that you don't get any tax deduction. That tax deduction only reduces your interest rate, no other benefit. You still end up paying from your pocket, right? Instead of paying 10.25, you end up paying 7% if you are getting full tax deduction, right? Above a 15 lakh limit, you are paying 10.25 post-tax. Very, very few investment will give you better returns than that, okay? So the answer to your question, does that make sense or not? Of course it depends, okay? And sometimes you borrow even though it may not make complete sense, as long as you can afford it, okay? But typically for house that you stay in, a loan above 15 or 30 lakhs, single or jointly owned, if both are working, okay, makes less sense than.
I think you should put it up on your website, because there are so many people now, even after both people earning, the sentiment is like we can't buy a house, but 1 BHK is 50, 60 lakhs. Even I am regretting because I didn't buy 5 years ago. So it will be good for people to know that okay, there are other means of investing, and not buying a house is not like you are missing heaven or something.
In the house, okay, you made a wise decision, probably, okay, but because people attach so much psychological significance to staying in their own house, okay, that itself is a big return, and you can't ignore non-financial returns. They are as important as financial returns.
Forget about the house, even car has become the thing. We should have a car, higher end car.
So again, you need to take into account those factors. You can't completely ignore them. So I think the trick there is to see whether you can afford the house for staying in. Anything else is an investment. Moment you want to buy to give it out on rent, it's like any other investment. You analyze it just like anything else. House to stay in, I think because emotions are mixed into it, you need to give some value, not some, you need to give quite a lot of value to the emotions. People somehow feel wealthy, okay? Even though I may not have made a great investment, my 50 lakhs became 1 crore in 9 years. So कोई बहुत भयंकर रिटर्न नहीं मिला, लेकिन मेरे पास 1 करोड़ का घर है, ओके, जिसपे मेरा लोन अब 30 लाख है, मतलब 70 लाख है मेरे पास.
No, I agree.
So I think there is a value to that which you cannot not take into account. Is the only point that I
Actually,
make.
after staying on rent for about 10 years.
So it has a value.
The rental is for 2% of the property value right
Less
now.
than that now. It is
So
dropped to
if you
1.5.
can invest in fixed deposit or any liquid fund which gives you 8%, definitely staying in a rented house makes a sense if you don't have the funds to fund. And we are not sure about whether you will continue to stay or whether you remain in the city for longer period of time or not. But staying in a rented means you have to convince your family members first for that.
So I will not take the name, but it clearly says we are not at any given point we are not liable to pay any claim as such. I don't remember the exact word as such.
Term policy.
Yeah, online term policy. There is some sentence like this, ki they are not.
There is no one. There is no one. I am very happy to you let me know. I mean,
No,
we
but there is-
analyze policies. I mean, I am not saying we have a copy of every single policy issued by every single company.
No, no.
Whether it is a health policy.
The wording may be wrong, but I am just telling that this liability as such they will not accept.
Only fine print in a term policy.
So
Okay,
why choosing
is
society?
suicide within first year, okay, or wrong info. So you go parachuting and you don't even tell them.
Adventurous sport.
Okay, you do adventure sport, you do hiking, and you die while doing that. So even you may not have informed them about parachuting, but if you don't die while doing parachuting, they can't not pay your claim. You must have suppressed a material fact, and that material fact must be the reason for the death. Only then they can deny your claim. Otherwise, they cannot deny your
But
claim.
what should we do? It's not generally that we do, somebody does, but he decides to go, say, in 5 years period, he goes and dies. Then
As long as when you took the policy, you were not undergoing, you were not parachuting when you bought the policy, let us say. You started that hobby 2 years later, no problems. No, you are not required, continuing disclosure is not required. But what will happen, suppose you die while parachuting, okay, after 5 years. The company is going to say, boss, you had started parachuting when you had bought the proposal, you didn't disclose. Now the burden will shift back to your family to prove that you started parachuting only 2 years later. In parachuting it is possible because you would have need a license, etc. So you will be able to show that you are trial. In a lot of sports that may not be possible if it's not a licensed sport.
But unfortunately, LIC is not promoting